Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Recruiters Insider on today's episode of What Goes Behind the Scenes of How We Shortlist Your Resume. I'm Irene, and this is Vanya. Okay, so the first topic, what should we talk about? I think because our podcast title is Recruiters Insider, so a lot of people are asking what actually goes inside our process of recruiting, especially when it comes to the resume, Yes, so we're going to discuss about the do's and don'ts in resumes, what are the green flags, red flags, what do we instantly drop, and tips. And tips on how to make a good resume that we will read through and we will shortlist. Okay, so for the first topic that we need to talk about is what are the red flags in resume?
Oh yeah.
What do we instantly drop? What is like no for us?
Yeah.
So I think the first one that I always drop is if they have no contact number. Or if they don't have an email or anything like that.
We usually joke about this in the office because the person is applying for the job, but we can't contact you. So maybe you're in a rush, we understand, but sometimes it's just very hard for us to find you. Some of us actually put into effort to go to your LinkedIn and try to find your contact, and it's also not there sometimes. So please just put your contact number, your email at least.
Yes, that's the most important thing, your contact number. So we know how to contact you.
Okay. Red flag number 2.
Red flag number 2 is if you don't explain your experience. Like you're literally just writing your position, that's all.
Okay, so firstly, how do we even start to screen your resume? Firstly, it starts from understanding the vacancy itself. So let's say if it's a position for language education, which our company is doing quite actively, if it requires Mandarin and Cantonese, obviously the first thing our eyes go to for your resume is
the language skill.
Yes, definitely. And we actually take note to see, let's say, your language skill, how much you rate for your Chinese, your Cantonese, your German language. Yeah, and that's the first thing we look at. And then we will look at, what other things we look at?
Experience for me. Yeah, personally, if you have like customer service experience, let's say for a language interpreter, then that will be like a plus point. We will shortlist you and put you up there, kind of. And then other experiences relevant, like if you've been in a call center or anything. So yeah, as long as the experience is relevant with whatever job that we are opening.
Yeah. So again, it has to do with what kind of person and vacancy is going to be open, because let's say for education, right? It's not just customer service, although that's one primary role. We'll also consider, let's say, if you're from a teaching background, a legal background, a communication background, anything that possesses similar requirement that the job needs. Actually, here's one thing that you need to know. We always look for keywords in your resume. Keywords. So for instance, if the position asks you to be good with operation management or legal law, that's the word we're looking for. And most of the time, we'll screen like hundreds of resumes daily.
We don't have time to go through all your experience.
Exactly.
All those sentences. So mostly we just search for keywords.
Yeah. In fact, some companies, they don't even use people, right?
Yeah, they use this system you call that ATS.
Yeah.
And that system will basically screen through your resumes and shortlist you based on the keywords.
Yeah. So even like fun fact, I know some candidates who start writing like hidden keywords in their resume.
Oh really?
Yeah. So for like hidden keywords, it could be like this completely white in terms of like the font color, just so that it could be picked up more from like the machine, like algorithm. That's how smart people are.
That's a tip that you could use.
Yeah. Okay, so I get this question before. Is it important to have good grades in your resume? Yeah. How important is academics?
Well, depends on the position.
Exactly.
Also depends on the recruiter.
Okay, maybe we'll talk about that.
I guess from my perspective, numbers, they're not really relevant to me unless your number is like very bad. Maybe it's like 2.5 for a marketing degree. Yeah, that's like a no.
Yeah.
But I look more towards the experience rather than the numbers. Because numbers, it can mean anything, especially these days if you screen new resumes from new generations, that could be a result of ChatGPT. That could easily be a result of ChatGPT paraphrasing tool. You have all the stuff. So I don't really look at numbers, honestly.
Yeah.
How about you?
I don't either. I look at work experience more, and specifically for work experience, I don't just look at what they accomplished technically, because as you said, a lot of ChatGPT, and I think after a while you can kind of tell who is using ChatGPT and who's not. But what I do look out for is numbers in the work experience. Meaning, if let's say you're doing I'm recruiting for marketing roles, I'm looking for, let's say, people who accomplish, let's say, 30% increase in website leads, or if you have managed to increase impressions by how many percentage. So concrete facts, stuff that you can't lie about. And of course, during the interview process, I'll actually ask them about these numbers. Yeah. Although I have to say, because for recruiters, especially for recruitment agency, we work with a few clients. So some of my clients actually prioritize academics a lot. Yeah. So I think the person I'm talking about, but this person really prioritized academics, and I think it has some good reasons. Because academics at least shows maybe how fast you can learn
Your analytical skills.
Yeah. But you're right though that it's not everything. People can be smart, but they can't work. They can't be good workers. So again, it depends. But again, it depends on the role. If let's say you're doing engineering,
Yeah, of course.
engineering,
Want like a good
yeah.
grammar. Yeah.
Academics actually matter for engineering.
Yeah, but I do agree with you when including numbers with your work experience, because not a lot of people do that actually.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of people doing that in resumes, so that is like a good tip for you guys.
Yeah.
If you want to stand out, include numbers, your results, what you do during your work experience.
Yeah. In particular, let's say if marketing, because I do recruit for graphic designers before, we also look at your portfolio that you attach in your resume. So it depends, right? And if you're doing IT or engineering project, I would actually look at the project that you did. Because usually engineering, they have this called FYP, final year project, and they have to make a structure or whatever. Yeah, so there's things I would look at as well. Yeah. Have you answered the question?
Actually, yes.
Right?
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so for the second topic, we can start to talk about what are the green flags.
Yes.
What did we actually shortlist, like instantly shortlist?
Yes. You want to start?
So I think the first one is if you don't have that much gaps in your resumes between companies, like you don't jump into other companies to another company in within 5 months or 6 months. Yeah, like for me, if you work for a long time in a certain company, that really shows your commitment in the role, and that really shows your quality as a candidate.
Right. But how do you tackle the trend these days, which I think especially Gen Zs like to jump around every year? Can I just say from my position is that it's not always bad, because it does show a certain passion or desire to progress in your career, because statistics actually show that if you stay in just one company your entire time, obviously if the company doesn't give you promotion or whatnot, your salary is less likely to progress much faster. So how do you tackle that?
Well, I guess have the benchmark of 1 year. I guess if you
true.
Yeah, if you stay in one company for 1 year and then you jump into a company and then stay in that company for another year, I guess that's still fine. But if it's less than 1 year, 6 months, let's say 5 months, that's a total.
Yeah. I think what we recruiters do, okay, maybe before that, right? If let's say we are doing mass hiring, then this kind of gap could actually just be dropped, because we just have too many people to shortlist. If it's middle, top level management work, maybe we'll call you up, we'll just clarify why is there a gap, right? I know, for instance, my candidate, they could have a gap because their parents die, or because of maternity, they have or take a break to take care of their children. That's a good thing. You want that kind of employee. Yeah, but unfortunately, if you're doing mass hiring, it's quite difficult because there's just way too many resumes.
Yeah, lists. Yeah. Okay, so the next topic is about what if your resume is too good? Like you look so overqualified for the position that you're applying to.
Is there something called overqualified candidate?
Oh, well, for me, I think there is something overqualified. Yeah.
Explain.
Especially when it comes to like the salary range. That is like another thing that I look at first. Let's say if you're a CEO of a company or like a CTO, CFO of a company, like a good company, and you're applying for a role that only pays you 6,000 ringgit, for example, I would have a lot of questions. But first of all, I wouldn't drop them straight. I would probably call them first and, ask the reason, like, are you aware this job's only 6,000 ringgit? What are the reasons that you're applying for the job? Why do you leave your previous job? So I'll probably be asked those questions. But yeah, there is such thing as overqualified. What else is overqualified for you?
I would say maybe one question is whether do we drop overqualified candidate, since you already make a point that there are such a thing as overqualified candidate. Definitely would not just drop. We would perhaps consider you for other positions. So this just happened with the other day actually. Someone who scored really, really well from UM. UM is one of the top universities in Malaysia. He scored 4.0 out of 4.0. That's actually very, very, very difficult. And the role he has been holding since he first graduated is always top manager level. And he's applying to quite a fresh position in a company I'm hiring for. So in such scenarios, I probably wouldn't think of him for this role like he's applying for, but I would try to offer him as much role that might suit him as possible, because getting the right people in the right bus is so difficult. You can't have someone who worked for 10 years, but because after you train them, they won't be as good. And you can get a fresh grad, perhaps even, because they have the brains, they have the attitude, they're the right person, basically. And you train them, they can grow much faster. And that's the thing. People is the best resource out of all.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would say if there's a good candidate, very rare. Firstly, I don't want to lose them, no matter what. I want to get them.
And let's say like we don't have any other positions, we will definitely keep your resume in TAG.
Yeah, in fact, right, I have to say, if let's say you don't suit any of our client position, I want to recruit you for our own management team. Yeah, because it's just that hard to get really good candidates. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a common question that always pops out. Why is no one getting back to me on my resume? What is wrong with my resume?
Okay, I think the first thing that, sometimes what's wrong with your resume is the structure of the resume itself.
What do you mean by structure?
Sometimes if you use Canva, it's like, sometimes it's like a no-no for a lot of companies, especially if they're using ATS. A lot of ATS actually cannot detect Canva structure. You have those like circle pictures and those beautiful things. I think that works if you're applying for like graphic designer.
Yeah.
But if you're applying to a company that use the ATS, it cannot actually detect the structure.
So just be aware of like the positions you're applying to. I think that's one important thing when you apply for jobs.
And especially the company, if it's like a huge company, like let's say some Big Four, and we'll definitely use ATS. So yeah, be mindful. And I think a tip for you to use what resume template to use is the Harvard resume template, which you can download online.
You'll find the link here.
Yeah.
Well, there's also this one unspoken nasty truth about why your resumes are not getting shortlisted. Actually, it's because some companies and some recruiters are too lazy. So I have to admit, because we have worked with a few companies as well, and sometimes it's really not about your resume. It's just honestly bad luck that your resume falls into the hand of someone who is too lazy to maybe shortlist it, because a lot of recruiters, they have hundreds of resumes again to shortlist. So sometimes, I don't know, man, like sometimes it's just bad luck. But that's why you don't give up. That's why you don't give up. We just keep applying, because not all recruiters and not all companies are like that.
I've even heard some companies that, if your picture is ugly, they will drop it.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes.
That's true.
Yeah.
So that can happen. So that's a lot.
Wait, no, I want to add on to that actually. True story, because some of my clients also think if you're not even putting enough effort to make a presentable picture that it does say about how much you want a job.
Yeah.
So that's just one more thing to add.
Yeah, I want to add on. I hate when you have selfies on your resumes. Like, please don't. Like selfies, like literal selfie, like phones up. Like, please.
Why?
I don't know. It's tacky. But I will still screen your resumes. Sorry.
Oh, wait, a lot of the red flags are coming out. Oh my god. If your resumes have spelling errors, you have ChatGPT to at least fix your grammar. Like, what kind of person even spells wrongly in your resume? That tells a lot of how serious you are in your resume. I'm sorry. That's one huge red flag for me. Yeah. That. So how should we start making a resume? First, read the job description properly. Trust me. So, giving an example, if let's say the requirement says you have to be good at English and you can't speak English, please don't apply, because trust me, they won't even shortlist you. Honestly, we have a lot of, like every day, there will be applicants that apply for Mandarin interpreter, but they cannot speak Mandarin at all. Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that?
And I sympathize as well, because I am actually a foreigner living in Malaysia for a while now, and we are desperate for a job sometimes, so we would mass apply.
Yeah.
We would give the same resume to each companies, but that actually is kind of shooting yourself in the foot, because for each of the role, they're looking for something specific. The keywords you mentioned just now, they're looking for a very specific requirement. So sometimes just sending the same standard resume to different jobs actually will result in you not getting any jobs at all. So how should we do it instead? Read the job description, tailor it for each of the jobs that you actually really want.
Answer all the screening questions properly.
Yeah, correct.
If they ask you to, what's your Mandarin proficiency, what's your English proficiency, answer it properly and don't lie.
Yeah, that's true. Because trust me, if you lie about it, we'll find out in the interview. Or worse, they won't find out, and you'll land yourself into a job which you can't do, and you'll get into a lot of trouble anyways. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for the second episode.